we are back. I am Lydia Bank, your rural fellow.
And I'm Audrey Yadlichka with the Schuyler Chamber.
And I am Brian Bywater with Schuyler Community Development.
We've got a fun day today, you guys. I always love all these. Hey, I'm going to kick this off with just telling you about events that are coming to Schuyler that we're hosting, the Chamber's a part of, or one of our community members are. Just to give you a quick little list, we have a great event, lots of events happening over Labor Day. So come to the Chamber's website, schuylerchamber.net, and get all the details about these. We have Labor Day over in September. October, we do an awesome trunk or treat. November, we have Trivia Night coming up with CHI, which is brand new. We'll be at the Oak Ballroom. Super excited for that event. And of course, Santa Claus is coming to town in December before we know it, so the Chamber's all excited for those events.
Never too early to talk about Christmas.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. So I'm going to kick it over to you, Brian. We've got an awesome guest today. Super excited for him.
All right. Thank you very much. Our guest this time around is the Schuyler Chief of Police, Bob Farber, who has had 30-plus years of experience in law enforcement. And what people really want to know is, what is your favorite police show?
Oh, we're going to kick it off really fun. He's just smiling.
My favorite police show is an old one. A lot of people may not remember, and that would be One Adam 12.
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that.
So you're not a Joe Friday, Andy Sipowicz type of guy?
I like them all, but that was one of the first ones that I watched, and I truly always enjoyed it. I liked it, it was one I remember as a youngster watching the reruns, and I could never turn away from it. And I'd get my little Matchbox cars out, and I'd play cops and robbers, and I really got into it.
So was law enforcement one of your childhood ambitions?
I always had a lot of respect for the police. I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and didn't have a lot of contact with officers until I got into, probably junior high. We had a school resource officer, John Ways Jr., Mr. John Ways, and he was just a fantastic officer. And every now and then he'd come through the school, visit with us kids, and play basketball, throw the ball around at recess. And other than that, it was later in life when I met a detective from the Lincoln Police Department that I started thinking it'd be kind of exciting to be a police officer when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I'd always kind of wanted to be a teacher or some sort of athletic coach. Mm-hmm. And I kind of found when I went into policing that I was able to do kind of both of those things.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
Great.
I know you said, too, that athletics are a passion. So a University of Nebraska graduate.
Actually, I attended UNL for 2 years, and I didn't finish at the time. Played a little football, walked on like a lot of kids did, and had just a wonderful time. Lived out really a childhood dream.
Yeah, to walk on.
Walking on, playing football at the University of Nebraska.
So who was that coach? I have to ask.
Oh, the coach.
I wondered. I figured you were. I mean, that's something that a lot of people do not have. What an experience for you to have that.
It was incredible. Frank Solich was our running backs coach, and there's just some wonderful relationships over the years. Some of the guys that were still on that team, back then they had a freshman program, and you walked on. There were a lot of Nebraska kids involved in the Nebraska football team back then. And of course, the numbers were a lot bigger. And that freshman program was kind of a training program for the varsity. So it was a good time. School was fun. And it was kind of that early adulthood where you were off on your own and away from mom and dad.
Right.
Learning life's lessons.
Well, that's great. I'm already learning a lot from you and about you. But give me the inside scoop. What's something that most people don't know about you?
Well, they may not know that for 24 years, I actually coached youth sports. And for 10 of those, I was in charge of the Lincoln Police youth football teams, which encompassed sometimes up around 160 kids between the ages of 10 and 14.
Mm.
And it was full contact football. It's a wonderful pre-high school full contact football league in Lincoln. And what I thought was special about it and what really attracted me was the police department there sponsored that team. So most of the coaches were police officers.
Mm.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we interacted with those kids and worked with them and the families. And we weren't just coaches, and it wasn't just about winning and losing. It was about forming and building those relationships with the kids and the families.
Mm-hmm.
And we purposely were in charge of an area that sometimes had your lower socioeconomical areas of town where the kids really needed that relationship and that building.
Yeah.
And that's part of that community service and community policing concept that I just truly believe in, and that what's been stressed and taught to me through my time at the Lincoln Police Department. And that's one of the things that I have brought up here to Schuyler, that I've challenged and really tried to inspire our officers, is to get on board with interacting with the community and become involved. Don't just live and work here, actually get immersed.
Yeah.
Find something you can do. It's been a challenge because a lot of our officers commute. This day and age, the officers sometimes are only here for a short period of time, and maybe they move on to another agency. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of people coming and going right now. There's a lot of jobs available.
Right.
So we really push getting involved, find something, interact, build relationships, find ways to maybe solve and help people improve their quality of life without necessarily always, hey, the only answer here is a citation or an arrest or taking that route. Maybe we can find the root causes and together figure it out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great that you talk about your involvement and kind of sponsoring that involvement among your officers too. And I'm just kind of curious, what would you say is the most fulfilling part about your life here in Schuyler?
I talked a little bit about it. It is working with the young officers.
Yeah.
Coming here has given me an opportunity. Most of our police officers have only been involved in law enforcement on an average 2 to 3 to 4 years. So in the terms of a career, that's just an infancy.
Yeah.
They're still developing their craft. They're still learning. They're out of the academy. They probably have the knowledge, the books, the ability. In some cases, they write very well. I'm going to have to answer that. Or the most fulfilling thing here at Schuyler for me is working with our younger officers. They're in their infancy. Our average officer has been on 2 to 4 years. It's helping them develop their craft and teaching them how to do things the right way. And while they have a lot of skills, in some respects, they're way ahead of the game where a lot of officers are at that point in their career. Where I'm trying to help them is how to treat people and how to do things the right way. And to realize that it all starts with communication. It all starts with really slowing things down, explaining things. Because our community, there's so many different languages spoken. And there's challenges there because you don't always have access to interpreters.
Right.
Not everybody's fluent in all sorts of different languages. And they're going to have to understand that they have to find ways to effectively communicate. The other thing I'm really proud of is how the department as a whole held together during COVID. And not just the department, but the community. How Schuyler and Colfax County and really our surrounding area made it through that difficult year.
I agree.
And when you think about what the country went through and what we all watched on TV and how we're still getting hit with it, and we're all on pins and needles about what's going to happen here in the near future with this latest variant, there's a lot of angst, there's a lot of nervousness, it affects us all differently. Mental health is a huge, huge matter and problem anyway, and concern in our society. So I worry about our officers. And what I'm really, really proud of is that we came through all of that with just one person coming down with it, one officer, that we kept those infections down to a minimum within our team. We had several scares that we practiced, and we did what we preached. We took all the necessary precautions. And I really think that a lot of that has to do with the leadership of the community coming down from obviously Mayor, East Central. It was really a group effort. Our business association, everybody got on board.
Right.
Over here at the Homestead Center. I mean, you name it. It was a group effort. And you could see everybody cared about everybody.
Yeah.
And not only did we have the pandemic, we had a couple floods in here. I mean, we have had a lot of mental, I mean, this town is strong.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, let's kick this one around. I can't wait to ask you this. If you had one piece of advice to offer a stranger, what would you tell them?
I go back to the golden rule. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. Be kind. You know, so many times we're reluctant to reach out and lend a helping hand. It's easy to just drive on by. A lot of times it's fear, it's confusion. And in our community, especially with all the different cultures, all the different languages, it's easy to just live in your lane.
Yep.
And stay in your lane. But I see it every day. People reaching out and really interacting, growing, getting to know each other, and working on getting out of their lane and venturing out. And it's a good thing to see. And it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do.
So if I was a newcomer to Schuyler, how would you describe the people and the life and the community in general to me?
That's a great question, because I was new just a couple years ago.
Right.
I had driven through, but I hadn't spent much time up here other than for athletic events. And what I would tell them is exactly what I experienced and what I noticed right off. Just like most of Nebraska, people here are so friendly. Everyone. I had an old colleague that I worked with for literally 20 plus years riding with me up here the other day, and he couldn't believe how many kids and adults waved as we drove around in our police car. I would let him know that, you know, there is some genuine, friendly people up here that will extend a helping hand. And I would tell them that this is a vibrant, young community. I don't know what our medium age is, but we've got so many kids.
We do.
Families.
Young.
You go to our high school, our elementary, our middle school, there's bursting with kids. A lot of small towns, unfortunately, in Nebraska, are struggling with holding populations. We're growing. I don't know what our population is, but there's no doubt we're vibrant, we're growing, and it's only going to improve. And I would tell that person, experience Schuyler. Go into the restaurants.
Yeah. In the businesses. We have
Absolutely.
such unique and great shopping.
Meet people, reach out, take part in the community. That's what I would encourage you. Go down and watch a soccer game on a Sunday. If you love sports, maybe you don't even understand soccer. You appreciate athleticism.
Yeah.
It's a fun. It's exciting to watch people that really get after it, and some of those games are spirited. I would say take a walk in the park. You know, the walking that goes on here in the summer, the exercising. There's a lot of activity, a lot of kids. We've got a great golf course there. There's a lot to offer here. There's a lot going on, and there's 9+ houses went up last year. Really nice homes down there,
right
by the elementary school. Businesses going in. I would tell them that this is a place you should take a shot at. You should consider. If you want a multicultural, really involved, a part of Nebraska that's very much different than the rest of Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
and a place to really get a lot of flavor. Come to Schuyler.
Mhm.
You're going to like it.
You're gonna like
enjoy
it.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well, Chief Farber, we can't thank you enough for coming in here. And truthfully, you give me goosebumps so many times throughout here. I mean, you've had such great insight, and I love your take on Schuyler and your passion for the people here. You can really feel it. And I know our listeners are going to enjoy this one for sure. So we're so appreciative of you taking the time to do this.
Quick shout out for your longevity of bringing these rookie guys in. Like you said, they're hungry and energetic, but we love your experience to lead them through. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You bet.